Well, there is growing fallout in Washington over Fox News host Tucker Carlson's false claims surrounding the January 6th insurrection.
It comes as newly released court documents show that Fox News chairman Rupert Murdoch was worried his network went too far with 2020 election denial claims. Carlson recently released previously unseen footage supplied to him by House Speaker Kevin McCarthy inaccurately depicting the insurrection. Our Nikole Killion spoke with the former chairman of the January 6th Select Committee, Representative Benny Thompson, on Tuesday about Tucker Carlson's reporting.
Mr. Carlson also called your work a lie.
Well, you know, I look at the Dominion voting lawsuit that precipitated a lot of what occurred on January 6th. And Mr. Carlson was giving a narrative that he knew was untrue.
CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion joins us now from Capitol Hill.
Hi there, Nikole. So how dangerous does Representative Thompson feel the release of this footage is, and do his feelings fall in line with what you're hearing from other lawmakers on Capitol Hill?
Well, I don't know if I would characterize it as dangerous, but, you know, he definitely expressed concern, as have many lawmakers. You know, obviously being chair of the Select Committee, he had access to a lot of this footage. But the point that he raised to me is that, you know, they were trying to be careful as a committee to make sure that they weren't revealing anything potentially compromising in terms of security or in terms of individuals who work here at the Capitol. So they were very careful to review these tapes. So by just giving them out to somebody like Tucker Carlson, who in his view is kind of presenting an alternative view of the facts, you know, he feels is a dereliction of duty, not only on the part of somebody like Tucker Carlson, but also on the part of Speaker McCarthy, who handed over all of this exclusive access to Carlson, although Speaker McCarthy has argued that he was doing it for transparency. So in his view, people could make up their minds for themselves.
Nikole, the Senate is expected to vote to pass a Republican-led resolution that would block a controversial D.C. crime bill. President Biden has already stated that he would not veto the bill. Why is this legislation causing a divide within the Democratic Party?
Oh, well, it is for a number of reasons. I mean, keep in mind, because D.C. is not a state, any type of legislation and anything pertaining to their funding has to come through Congress. And so obviously D.C. has advocated for years for statehood so they can kind of control things on their own. So that being said, there is this criminal code provision that the D.C. Council wanted to revise that would have changed some of the penalties, for instance, for things like carjackings, robberies, and other crimes. And Republicans in particular took issue with that. They felt that, you know, minimizing some of these penalties isn't the right way to go. And so therefore they did a resolution of disapproval. That has already passed in the House with bipartisan support. And now it's expected to pass in the Senate with bipartisan support, especially after President Biden told Democrats that he would not veto this measure if it in fact clears. And so the divide is because of, you know, those who support D.C. and D.C. statehood. But then on the other side, you have Democrats who feel strongly and agree with this Republican resolution. So that is why kind of they're within the party, they are at odds over this. Not only that, but certainly President Biden's decision to support the measure and not veto it also caught some Democrats off guard. And part of why Republicans brought this up in the first place was to try to cast Democrats as being soft on crime. So as you can see, you know, there are like localized political issues with this, but also more of a national narrative as well. So that is something we will dive into a lot more coming up later today on Red and Blue. We will talk with Congresswoman Angie Craig of Minnesota, who actually supported this resolution and who was recently attacked here in Washington. She'll update us on her condition, but also talk about her support for the measure and kind of some of the consternation that this is causing within the party.
All right, certainly complex dynamics at play. Nikole Killion on Capitol Hill for us. Nikole, thank you.
You bet.